What is up, everybody? It is Aoe here, back with another video, and today's video is SFK 1 pool post Aoe Cap. It's our next iteration in the post Aoe Cap series, where we go through all the old Aoe farms that we've been doing, and for pre-patch leveling and everything like that, and show how to do them in the post Aoe Cap and how I personally would be doing them myself. Now, today, guys, is also a huge day because pre-patch actually comes out today, and so we're going to be doing our 1 to 60 world first race for a Blood Elf Pally live on stream at twitch.tv/Elias. Definitely come hang out, guys. Should be a ton of fun. Hopefully the servers come up before 6 p.m. Eastern, so I'm not up till 11 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night, but it is what it is. I'm going to try to do it all in one sitting, 1 to 60. So with this SFK farm, if you guys didn't know, the Aoe Cap that comes into pre-patch and then obviously will be with us through TBC as well, basically makes it and so that we can't do as much damage with a Blizzard, Cone of Cold, Arcane Explosion, Flamestrike, etc. And so any non-ground effect has a capped damage number, let's just say 10,000. If you had 100 mobs, that means each mob would only take 100 damage. And so if it's Blizzard, for example, and that's 10,000, that means 100 divided by 8, which means each of your ticks will do about 12 damage. So the Aoe Cap is going to have a big impact to the damage that we do. And SFK is an interesting instance because Moonwalkers, such as these guys, actually throw up a anti-magic shield, which kind of makes them more difficult to kill. And so the old strat that I was using would basically be pull all these guys, run and grab the rest, and then kill them all in the open. I change this up a little bit here, actually, where I try to kill a few of them until they get shielded. At the point that they're shielded, I'm like, all right, let's keep on going. Because we have the magic absorption talent, we're going to be able to get back our mana, so I'm not worried about mana. But killing those few mobs earlier on is going to decrease my mob count in the big pool that's about to come, meaning that I'm going to be able to do more damage because there's just going to be less mobs to split that Aoe Cap damage with. So here we run through just like we used to do with the SFK strat, rank 1 Arcane Explosioning to pull all these mobs. You loop out around the castle, back into the castle. Don't go back outside the castle through this area, all the way through and out into the open area, because that will cause some mobs to reset. So stay in this actual castle portion, etc. Here's what I do now. I block right here. And the reason why I block right here is that the mobs are now going to stack up on top of me, so they're not just going to be trickling in, which would cause mana issues. And then I move forward, reapply shield, and then I cast Blizzard. Now I'm casting Blizzard here to do as much damage as I can to the previous mobs before I grab the rest of the mobs. This is going to split up the damage a little bit so I can take out the mobs a little bit easier. And then what it's also going to do is it's going to make it so that I can have much more mana. Because now all these mobs are stacked, and now I'm getting back this mana with magic absorption, things like that. Typically where I would have run out of mana here, I'm not going to run out of mana. So I aggro the rest of the mobs in the next room, run back into the other room, and aggro up the rest of the mobs. 2 mobs will always spawn right here, so make sure you're ready to aggro those guys. I thought it was always 2. There should have been a wolf. I don't know why it didn't spawn. But then we just finish off the mobs, and that is the first big pool. That's the pool that most people are concerned about because of the Aoe Cap. Previously, we ran out of mana just doing the regular pool because of the anti-magic shields and because the mobs weren't stacked. But that is how we can get the mobs to be stacked. We do burn block, so we won't have block later, but it is going to help to try to control the mobs. At this point, we're only 3 minutes in. One reason why a lot of people do SFK, guys, by the way, is for the BOE blues that can drop a lot of PvP twink items. But also now, guys, if you didn't know, the actual bosses are going to drop better loot too. And so the greens that they used to drop are going to be upgraded to blues, which means that they're going to provide better stats. And so this is definitely going to be a good instance to do if you want to get some gear while you're leveling up. Even if you just do the instance normally, it'll be great to do, especially with pre-patch and TBC. Once we get our mana back, we're going to go into the next room. Now you can technically drag these guys into the next pool if you want to be quicker. I personally don't, just because they can silence, and then the boss, wherever he is, commander or whatever his name is, typically will bubble, unless you can get him killed before he actually bubbles, but typically he'll bubble. So here you can see I get that silence, and so I just like to kill him here. It just takes a little bit. If Commander Springvale bubbles, I'll just run into the next area. Right here, he obviously didn't bubble, and so we were just able to go through. But typically, if he doesn't bubble, I'm just going to drag him into the next pool. But now that we got them down, it took about 15 seconds to kill them right there. Now I don't have to worry about them in the Aoe Cap in the next room. I don't have to worry about the silence. I don't have to worry about the bubble, etc. It just makes it a little bit easier. If you guys want to drag them into this pool just to be faster, you can, but you're already going to be well over the instance cap per hour just doing this method alone. Now we're going to aggro up these next mobs. I do a series of blizzards to kind of catch up the mobs to each other. This is, again, trying to conserve mana in the long term for when we get to the kill phase. I honestly don't think that you need to do those. It's kind of just what I was experimenting with at the time. I really don't think that you need to do those. And so you can shave off a solid like 15 to 20 seconds just by continuing to roll through. So don't worry about that too much. I would continue just running through, aggroing all these mobs. You're going to loop over. Recommend that you jump off here onto the platform. You can aggro these guys a lot more efficiently, hug the left a little bit to aggro those guys, and so you don't have to fire blast, and then this guy just didn't pull at all, so I had to Arcane Explosion him. I'd go for the Blizzard here, but like I said before, you probably don't need to go for the Blizzard, and so just don't do that. The reason why you don't want to do it actually is because when you're going up the spiral staircase, mobs can hit upwards, which means that I'm going to start getting hit by absorbs, you can see. So the mobs below me on the staircase are actually hitting me from below. So I don't have my Ice Barrier Shield, but you'd be able to see that it's running down a lot. I pop Icy Veins here just to basically burn down the boss as quickly as possible. You want to burn Fenris down as quickly as you can because Fenris is, once he's dead, is going to spawn 4 elementals that you'll see in just a second. The rest of the mobs, though, I stack them up. Because we don't have a ton of mobs, I don't need to worry about needing to block. Flamestrike, Cone of Cold to take them out. Obviously, you could see the AoE cap drastically limited the amount of damage we were going to do with that, but we were still able to get down the mobs pretty quickly there. Then you can see these 4 Voidwalkers spawn, and here I run out of mana. Depending on, the pool that you're doing and depending on your gear and things like that, I don't have great gear. You might not run out of mana there, which would be awesome. I had to go for the Evocate. It'd be better to Evocate right after that, just so you can go to the next pool without having to drink like I'm about to drink. But overall, you can see that we're only 6 minutes in. As far as experience goes, if you're just trying to spam run through this to try to get the most experience as fast as possible, this is where you would end the run, and you'd run outside the instance and reset. I go to the last boss here just to show you guys how I do the last boss, but as far as experience goes, that would be the fastest route. If you go to the last boss, it's going to add about 2 minutes to your run or so, something like that. But then you get the chance of the loot for everybody and everything like that. And if you're going to get instance locked anyways, you might as well go for it. So it's up to you, whichever you guys would prefer. Aggro that mob, bring it into the next room for sure. Do not kill that mob alone. It's just going to waste your mana. And then in this next room, there's going to be mobs in the corners. Make sure all of them aggro up before you start doing damage. The biggest change with the AoE cap, guys, is that we just really want to focus on maintaining our maximum mana as much as we possibly can. And so we're just going to wait a little bit to get into the kill phases. We're going to try to have the mobs stack up a little bit. You can see I run straight through there to try to pull the boss so it aggroes up Slaver Wargs. And then just Flame Strike, Cone of Cold, burn him down, and then you're on to the last boss. Now for this last boss, you could also save Icy Veins for him just to burn him down. He will feed you mana back though. So he's going to be casting on you constantly, which means that because of magic absorption, you're going to be getting back mana. So just burn through him. And Frostbolt, Fire Blast, kill him, and then you're done. Now to get out of here, I would recommend the jump that I do. I fail this jump miserably. If you have Zanza, you can be a little bit faster, and you can definitely make this jump. I failed that jump because my tune just didn't jump. So if you jump there, you should be able to get that jump, save a couple seconds. But then you actually just want to run on top of the instance pretty much to get out. It's just basically running on the roof. So if you follow this exact path out, you should be good to go. I'd recommend doing this dungeon, guys, from 16 to 20. Some people would do it from 10 to 20. I personally don't like doing it all the way down at level 10 because I find that RFC can give us more experience just in the raw time that we're spending. But some people really like SFK for the drops and then also for the experience. And so definitely could do it as low as level 10 up to level 20. At level 20, I would switch over to SM. A lot of people stay till 24. SM will give you more experience. If you guys want to stay though, feel free. Do whatever you guys would like. Once you come out in this open space, you can jump up on top of this roof. Then you jump off and then you run outside the instance and reset. So overall, it's an 8-minute and 50-second run. Still plenty of time under that 15-minute cap per hour. As far as talents go, we really want to focus on doing as much frost damage as we can. There's not as many mobs in this dungeon as there are some other AoE farms that we're doing, and so we can actually still do a good amount of damage to Cone of Cold, Blizzard, and everything like that. So I go down into the Frost Tree mostly. I do go down into Arcane to get Magic Absorption just to get some mana back as we're running through. This actually will be really helpful for the first couple pulls. And I get Arcane Fortitude just to make sure that I don't take as much damage. But then I go down in the Frost Tree and I work my way down, skipping over things that don't really help, or they're more focused on single target kind of damage. Water Ellie would be nice, but we don't need it, given the fact that we're going to go down at Arcane Fortitude and get this shield. If you want to get Ice or Water Elemental instead of Arcane Fortitude, go for it. But the idea is to try to pump out as much damage as we can, so we go full Shatter and also have Blizzard since we're doing Flamestrike, Cone of Colds, and Blizzard throughout the farm. All right, everyone, that wraps up today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please subscribe and leave a like and a comment below to let me know so. And if you guys have any other ideas for any other videos, please let me know in the comments below. Also, check out the description for the Twitch where I do all this live, and also for my Twitter and Discord where you guys can be notified of any future updates and when I'm going to go live on stream. So I'll see you guys in the next video.